that's the beautiful rhythm that we've seen from Duffy all season. All smiles from a very proud Bermudian who wins the title, defends her title with maximum points, 5,200, her 6th win of the season.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Friday, October 26th. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. Opposition leader Craig Cannonier takes Premier David Byrd to task over what he says is the failure of the Progressive Labour Party government to address the real issues affecting the people of this country. Mr. Cannonier was reacting to comments made by Mr. Byrd in his capacity as political leader of the Progressive Labour Party at the start of the party's delegate conference on Wednesday. Here's Mike Sharp with more.
Mr. Cannonier accuses Mr. Byrd of using his speech to PLP's annual conference to mislead the people of this country and to cast aspersions without answering key questions. He claims the OBA doubled the national debt, yet fails to explain that there was no option in order to cover the huge budget deficits left by the previous PLP governments. The opposition leader said, despite claim from the government, overlooked a Department of Statistics report which showed an increase in jobs for Bermudians last year, the first such increase since 2006, which Mr. Cannonier attributes to the OBA policies, which he asserts are still benefiting this country. Mr. Cannonier contends unemployment under the PLP almost trebled between 2000 and 2012, and the OBA, upon assuming office, continued to suffer from poor PLP policies. Inging his party's praises, Mr. Cannonier maintained the OBA reduced health care costs, while the current government did the opposite of health care and paid $1.2 million to a former PLP premier and doctor. The OBA, he pointed out, created jobs through investment in the new airport and hotels. He went on that the Bermuda Tourism Authority, which has successfully revitalized the industry, which is benefiting this current government, was also an OBA creation. Mr. Cannonier blamed the tough decisions the OBA government had to make and the issues currently affecting the country on PLP policies implemented whilst they were in power for 15 of the last 20 years. Further that, the former government inherited spiraling debt, a legacy of PLP governments. He ended, "It is time for the Premier to stop trying to prop up his agenda by making personal attacks and to start telling the people of this country when the jobs they promise will arrive, when the burden of new taxes will be reduced, and when health care costs will come down."
Thanks, Mike. And once again, those comments from opposition leader Craig Cannonier. In other news, spectators got a special treat this afternoon at the Cedar Bridge Academy cafeteria, the scene of a special presentation culminating the midterm workshop for the Department of Education's STEAM Academy. With Education Minister Deala Rabane, parents, and others in attendance, the youngsters put on a special performance called The Power of One, which involves statements, singing, and dancing. The STEAM Academy provides gifted young people with a chance to immerse themselves in science, technology, engineering, as well as arts and mathematics. Speaking to Tarai Trot, Minister Rabane said the topics the youngsters are studying represents the future.
Well, programs like this are important, Tarai. It's because this is where the world is going. When we talk about what's happening in the private schools, and where you have BHS building their STEAM center that they're building. This is where we are looking to move towards as well within the public school system. If you look at Plan 2022, it talks about creating avenues towards what we call STEAM education, and we followed suit with introducing a STEAM curriculum within our primary schools this year, and we're also looking to eventually open our own STEAM institute for our primary school level students as well as the middle school and up. And so it's just a matter of it's just a way of us getting students more involved in a different learning style that introduces them to the sciences, the technology, the engineering, the arts, and the math. This particular program, it's in its third year. It's normally run during the summer. This is the first time it's being run as a midterm camp. I've been actively involved in it last summer with my daughter, and this summer with my daughter as well, and she enjoys this.
And following their on-stage performance, the youngsters showcased the remote-controlled robots they helped to build. The Ministry of Education's Luann Wainwright-Dill had this to add.
Our gaming and digibotic students ranging from the ages of 9 up to 12, and then of course our gaming students who are 12 all the way through senior school. I think we have up to 16-year-olds here today, have been actually spending this past week building robots, doing robotic challenges, also looking into what global mindsets are as they impact technology and the news, the local news, as well as the news overseas.
41 people so far arrested for impaired driving after being stopped at sobriety checkpoints. Of that figure, 30 were Bermudians. The rest were one each from the U.S., the U.K., Sri Lanka, Mexico, Cuba, Canada, Ecuador, Bangladesh, Jamaica, and 2 were Portuguese. Those 41 arrests included 35 males and 6 females. Those arrested ranged in age from 20 to 65 years of age. A spokesperson for the Bermuda police told us, quote, "It is estimated that at least 100 drivers are stopped per night for roadside sobriety checks, and all of these drivers have been assessed for sobriety by a police officer. Roadside sobriety checks have been in operation on 8 occasions. 800 drivers are estimated to have passed through a roadside sobriety checkpoint. Of the 800 motorists who were assessed, 41 were found to be impaired in later tests. This is slightly more than 5% of all motorists assessed." Well, we'll have more for you after this short break. Stay with us.
You can count on us.
Organic Gala, Fuji, Granny Smith apples, and Bartlett pears, only 99 cents each. Certified Angus beef, top round steak, regular, thin, London, just $7.99 per pound. Select varieties of Arm & Hammer 2X laundry detergent, only $9.99 for a 75-ounce bottle. Select varieties of Ocean Spray cranberry juice, $5.65 for a 64-ounce bottle. Hot price on Friendly's ice cream, only $4.65 for a 48-ounce tub. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more weekly specials.
16,000 Bermudians find the easiest, cheapest way to bring packages to Bermuda is with U.S. Express at mailboxes.
There are things that you can't ship to Bermuda sometimes, especially IT equipment and things like that. It's just easy to put in a U.S. address and it just gets there every time. They notify me immediately when the packages show up. If they need an invoice, I send it to them, but when I show up here, it's ready to go.
When you shop online, always use your mailbox's U.S. Express address in New Jersey to save money.
Meet Bermuda pharmacists Ashley and Sean. They have completed a 5-year degree course and postgraduate training and are experts in medicines. Ashley, Sean, and their colleagues are here for you at your local pharmacy. To receive their advice, you don't need an appointment and you won't be kept waiting. For a skin rash to upset stomach, your pharmacist can help and may be able to provide medicines for minor illnesses without you having to see your doctor. And you will find a pharmacy open evenings, weekends, and holidays too. So next time, ask your pharmacist. This message is from the Bermuda Pharmaceutical Association. New Toyota Rush, Bermuda's biggest SUV with 7 seats. There's always plenty of room. Available at Bermuda Motors.
Welcome back. Well, a potentially groundbreaking study led by a 16-year-old Bermudian student could determine whether or not there is a link between a person's sense of taste and diabetes. Researchers say if there is a link to this specific gene receptor, it could explain why some people feel the need to add more sugar to their diet due to a lack of taste. Here's Tarai Trott with our story.
A person's taste normally plays a role in their decision to add sugar to their favorite food or to eat something sweeter and less bitter. But what if, to no fault of your own, you were born with a gene that caused you to taste food with more bitterness than others, causing you to crave more sugar?
Because genetics is one of those things like, yeah, it's your background, like you can't change them.
16-year-old Cameron Young attends BHS and is carrying out the local study as part of her IB program. The gene she has been testing people for in Bermuda is officially called the TAS2R38 gene, also known as the receptor that is believed to play a role in the perception of bitterness in taste.
It's not like you have the gene and then you're going to get diabetes. There are other factors that play into it. So I'm trying to see like how their lifestyle may impact, how they process things, how they may be impacted.
The TAS2R38 gene has been known to cause bitterness in one's taste for a variety of foods, as seen here in this YouTube explanation.
You will also taste more bitterness with coffee, with cruciferous vegetables, with more bitter tasting fruits like grapefruit.
Young Cameron is adamant that such a study is important for a place like Bermuda, which has just introduced a sugar tax to curb down on rates of obesity.
I feel like we've never done anything like this in Bermuda. We don't have any research where it just includes a bunch of Bermudians as a population. That's why I feel it's very innovative in that way. It's never been done before.
Mentoring her through the study, which involves questionnaires and obtaining DNA swabs from participants' cheeks, is Bermudian Dr. Karika Weldon, who was a lecturer at De Montfort University in Leicester, England.
Genes or our genetic makeup is very important in our health. However, your lifestyle and what you eat and your daily routine does have an impact on that as well. But at the core of many diseases, you do have a genetic link. And so we're trying to see if there is one. We're not saying there is one at the minute, but hopefully by the end of this study, we should be able to see if there's any correlation.
However, scientists are quick to warn that a high sugar intake doesn't directly lead to diabetes.
Sugar intake, if you have a high sugar intake and you eat a lot of sugar, it leads to obesity, and obesity directly has a link to diabetes. And so we're just trying to see if there's this extra link to this particular taste receptor gene.
Thanks, Tarai. In other news, an immunity to rodent repellent may be the reason behind a recent uptick in the number of rat sightings at the Botanical Gardens. That's the suggestion of Public Works Minister Colonel David Birch, who says the department is working to find ways to eradicate the rat population. The sightings recently caused a disturbance amongst park users, but according to Minister Birch, Botanical Gardens is a ripe breeding ground for rodents.
At first, I thought it was because of garbage and refuse, but it isn't that at all. As I understand it, the Botanical Gardens provides the entire menu of options for rats. Flowers, plants, and in particular, the berries from palm trees. Obviously, we need to take some steps, and we have, in terms of vector control, to try and control it, but it's not because of any negative. You either want to have a Botanical Gardens with flowers, and to some extent rats come with that, or not. And so that really is the choice. But we are taking steps and have taken steps to try and mitigate the boldness of those rats that now come out in daylight as opposed to at nighttime.
Do you believe that the situation wasn't kept on top of, and that's why perhaps they're so noticeable now?
No, I think that, and I'm not entirely certain about this, but it's being suggested to us that some of the insect repellent, if you want to call it that, that's not the correct term, that we're using, they're immune to it. But that's not only the case for rats. It's true of a lot of other rodents. And so it's trying to come up with a formula that actually addresses the challenge that we're facing now.
25 Parks Department employees have passed Level 1 of the Parks Horticultural Training Program. The ceremony took place yesterday at Bermuda College, where staff were presented with certificates by Public Works Minister Colonel David Birch and Minister of Education Diallo Rebane. It's the first time the department has moved to offer national accreditation in horticulture. The program was the brainchild of Ms. Terry Lynn Thompson, the former acting director of Parks. As part of the Landscape Gardeners course, the trainees learned health and safety, turf grass management, nutrient and soil care, power tool operation, and more.
The purpose of national standards is to not only ensure that everyone who's working in that particular field has reached a level of certification and they are able, and the person is able to hire you and know that you are going to do a good job, but it's also put in place to protect Bermudian jobs and make sure that Bermudians are skilled up to a level that when jobs do become available, you are the first choice for employers to look at.
Turning to weather news, a gorgeous day today with slightly cooler temperatures, and as we can see from our tower cam, we had an absolutely beautiful sunset not long ago. Let's see what the weekend has in store from us from the experts.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast here on ZBM is brought to us by our friends at the BF&M Insurance Group, and we're keeping an eye on this area of possible development. It's an area of low pressure that could become Oscar if it strengthens any more. Probably will become Oscar, or at a minimum tropical depression on Saturday. Meanwhile, there's also a front, really a warm front to our southwest, and then a cold front associated with that same system moving into the Florida area. So we're kind of between these two big features on the weather map, clouds way to the east and then plenty of clouds south and west. We will see an increase in cloud cover as this next system draws near. You can see some showers breaking out to our south and west areas northeast of the Bahamas. Getting a little closer to Bermuda, are seeing some showers. We'll hold on to generally dry weather here for tonight, though. 73 degrees, you're expected, well, the temperatures that we're going to deal with from now on through the early evening, and then we'll see expected lows drop just a couple of degrees below this. Winds are still from the southeast at 4 to 8 knots. Water temp, 74 degrees. Waves on the inside 1 to 2 feet, but we do have 3 to 6 footers now on the outside as things get a little more agitated with some disturbances on the way. So most of the early evening hours will remain dry. We're probably dry through midnight, but later tonight, after midnight, look out for a passing shower. It won't be a long-lasting event, but after 3, 4, 5 in the morning, we'll get into a better chance for some hit or miss brief sprinkles. A small craft warning will begin late tonight, and that will continue through Saturday into Sunday morning as our warm front approaches from the south and west, and then this storm system off to the west draws near as well. We wouldn't be shocked to see that small craft warning continue beyond Sunday morning. We'll have to see how that plays out. But regardless, low tide was recently at 4:41. The tide is coming back in. It will continue until 10:36 tonight. Low tide again at 4:38 Saturday morning, and then a high tide at 11:02 in the late morning, approaching midday. So again, late tonight into early tomorrow, a few spotty showers, not a long-lasting weather event, and then we'll be dealing with just breezy and a mix of sun and clouds, highs around 78 degrees. Futurecast shows the approach of this front off to the west. Here we are, and into the late night hours, it will get closer. Again, just a chance for a sprinkle or two. And then we have this system that we need to keep an eye on. This is possible Oscar, not officially Oscar yet, but that system is one that we need to keep an eye on. Most likely, this front's going to scoop it up and take it away. There's a chance it may miss the connection, and the front may lift above or north of it. And if that happens, this may still be a factor for a few more days. It could linger into next week if the trough doesn't scoop it away to the east. So we are watching this area of low pressure in the central Atlantic. Otherwise, down into Jamaica and Barbados, a pretty decent weather setup. Trinidad and Tobago does have some scattered showers. And in eastern North America, it'll be a messy, messy Saturday. Periods of rain, cool weather, a gusty breeze for the coast as well. New York, Boston, Toronto's dealing with some showers and chillier weather as well. Atlanta down to 60. Miami's stormy with 89-degree highs. And in London, we're chilly and wet there with a high of only 46. Locally, our front rolls in Sunday evening with widespread rain Sunday night, maybe a thunderstorm. Monday still wet. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll see a drying trend return with highs back down to 75. Back to you.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
My name is Kevin Roberts. I'm a taxi driver / ambassador. My father's with BF&M, so am I. Half of my family always been seemed to be with Bermuda Fire Marine. I tried a different provider at one time, but I wasn't too happy with the competition because back then it took too long to settle claims. They questioned every claim, and I never really had that problem with BF&M. I'm quite happy with it.
Hello, I'm Dr. Leonard Gibbons, the Health Ministry's Director for Bermuda Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. We're hosting a free medical and lifestyle clinic for our community, especially those of you who haven't had a health evaluation in a long time. It would take place on Sunday, October the 28th from 12 to 5 p.m. at the Hamilton Youth Center on King Street, Hamilton. Our health partners for this free event include Premier Health and Wellness Center, Atlantic Vision Care, In Touch Therapy, Hope Health Care, Arches Dental, Nordstrom Medical and Aesthetics, staff from Bermuda Hospitals Board, the Department of Health, and Bermuda Wellness and Outreach Center. In addition to seeing 6 different health professionals, including a medical doctor, you complete a personal healthy lifestyle profile and taste delicious healthy foods. To pre-register, call 292-4110.
Bermuda's king of comedy, Irwin Bootsy Wolf, will be at his best tomorrow evening in a one-man play at Fairmont, Southampton. Bootsy will act as a 97-year-old Papa Sporty in a show entitled Broken Promises. Bootsy spoke to radio personality Miss Thang.
I've been writing this particular play.
Yes.
Been sitting on it for about 3 years. You know, 2 to 3 years, because I want it to be right.
Correct.
You know? I was supposed to do this same play earlier this summer, but it fell on a Connie game. I'm not much into cricket.
Right.
So I found out, I'm like, well, this is a Connie game. I can't, you know, I don't want to compete with it. So I had to push it back. So the new date is October the 27th, which is this coming Saturday at the Fairmont, Southampton, in the amphitheater.
Amphitheater, yes.
Yeah. So it's a one-man play. And it's, I'm concentrating on, I'm bringing Papa Sporty to life.
Absolutely.
So I play this 97-year-old character.
Yes.
Right? And he's in the restroom. He wants to be in the restroom because he thinks that nobody understands him but the people in the restroom.
Correct.
Okay. And what happens is he's enjoying himself there, but he encounters other people's experiences, people that he met, that become his friends.
And he's 97.
And he's 97, and he was realizing that a lot of his friends are dying from a broken heart because their loved ones put them there, and then they tell them, we're going to come see you, or we're going to take you out, and or whatever, and they never show up.
Wow. Now,
so this is all from Papa Sporty's angle, how he sees it, and he believes that a lot of his friends die from a broken heart.
Still to come, Earl Basin has all the latest in sports in just a few minutes.
You can count on us.
Save $1.10 on Purdue fresh chicken leg quarters, only $1.79 per pound. Pretty Lady red, white, and black seedless crepes, just $3.99 per pound. Charmin Essentials ultra soft or strong toilet tissue, just $2.99 for a 4-roll pack. Dettol Surface and Power Kitchen Cleaner, only $3.99 for a 750 milliliter bottle.
Save 90 cents on Bounty Select-A-Size white paper towel, only $2.09 for 1 roll.
Visit our website at www.marketplace.pf for more weekly specials.
Philadelphia International Medicine provides international patients with access to a unique network of world-renowned doctors and surgeons that provide personalized medical and surgical care, connecting you to the U.S.'s leading healthcare specialists who are ranked among the best in the world. Healing is possible when you're confident in your healthcare team. To find out more, contact us at physicians@philadelphiamedicine.com or call 1-215-563-4733.
We are the voices.
You are with the captain.
It's Mr. Midday. 12 new major news. The big station.
The morning show.
Your #1 song.
The Faces.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight.
This is exactly what you're talking about.
What an upset it was.
The Storytellers.
They are actually using the pepper spray.
Police are aware of this theory.
The water is 3,500 meters deep.
The tax climbs up to 12.5%.
The window on our community.
We bring you the best in U.S. television entertainment.
And the greatest sporting events in the world.
A brilliant performance of Duffy.
We are the island's only Bermudian-owned broadcaster of both television and radio.
With the only TV channels that are available over the air in beautiful high definition, completely free.
We are always expanding.
We are always innovating.
And most important, we're always your station.
This is Bermuda Broadcasting.
Turning to sports, the Bermuda Threes golf tournament concluded and Bermuda sailors continue competing in Australia. Earl Bazin has the details and so much more in tonight's sports report.
At the Turtle Hill Golf Course yesterday, the Bermuda Threes World Team Championships came to an end with plenty of funds handed out.
Simon Lilly crowned the inaugural Pro Division champion with a combined score of 5 under par 245 to earn the $11,000 winner's purse. Kerry Scaraya would pick up the check for $7,000 after he finished second at 7 over par, and John Neporte finished third at 13 over par, which earned him $6,500. The 2018 Achilles World Championships continued in Australia, with 2 more races sailed on the day to take the number of completed races to 6. The Bermuda team of Tim Patton, Campbell Patton, and Raquel Evans moved down the leaderboard this after they started the day in 70th, but when they came off the water, they were in 77th. The trio recorded a black flag rule in the first race of the day, and then they would finish 58th in the second race of the day to finish with 402 points. A Bermuda Sanda team will compete in the 12th Pan American Wushu Championships in Argentina. The Bermuda team consists of Krista Dyer, Dean Jones, Gennaro Otterbridge, Kaylin Cox, and Riley Mason. Captain Dyer breaks down how she has been preparing for the competition.
I've really been working on my technical proficiency in this sport. I'm just working on some of the more advanced techniques, so my goal is to try to get some of them on in competition. I've been pretty successful with them in training. So that's going to be one of the things I'm looking forward to, trying to execute some advanced level technique.
Bermuda Sanshao president and coach Garen Wilkinson is looking forward to the fighters showing their full potential.
At the end of the day, no matter what team we have, whether it's a senior team or a junior team or inexperienced or experienced, we expect at least a solid showing. In terms of medals, I can't really say it at this point. I mean, there's 15 countries participating. You still have the Brazils and the Mexicos and the USAs and Canadas there. So I'm not putting sort of an expectation on medal count, but I know that we've trained extremely hard. We've put in a 12-week training camp like we do for every fight, and these guys are ready to perform to the best of their ability for sure.
The Carifta Triathlon and Aquathon came to an end in Tobago recently, with the Bermuda team finishing second on the points table out of 11 nations. The Bermuda team gathered to thank their sponsor, Tokyo Millennium Re, and present them with the second-place team trophy they won. Coaches Neil Disenqua and Ian Pilgrim spoke about how the youngsters adapted to the competition.
Adaptation was pretty straightforward with the heat. It was a little warmer than it had been here when we got there. I would say probably a little more humid, but the guys just immediately got into their stride straight away. They were all trained very, very hard for this, so they were ready.
Yeah, I don't think there was much in the way of sort of having to adapt. I mean, it was a different country, the travel was quite arduous, took quite a long time to get there, but an amazing bunch of kids. I've travelled with quite a few sports teams before, rugby and various other sports, but these guys were so good. I mean, we were checking into a hotel at 1 o'clock in the morning. It took an hour and a half to check in. They sat there, no complaints. They were just phenomenal. A great bunch of kids and very well prepared.
Olympian and multiple world champion Flora Duffy has given her fans an update via social media. Duffy states, quote, "It feels like I was banging my head against the wall all summer trying to figure out how to heal my foot. The good news is the tear in my tendon is so much better. I am now off to Stellenbosch for a continuation of summer and hopefully one with more running," end quote. Jillian Teixeira and Tyler Lopes began competing in the equestrian De Pelberg Prix International Horse Jumping event in the Netherlands. Teixeira took to the ring to compete in the 5 to 6-year-old in two phases special 1.15 to 1.25 meter class, riding Maya Volo VD Malmdrift. They finished 52nd with a time of 36.83, but they had 8 penalty fault points. Lopes and Hamlet D. Contaro finished 51st, competing in the two-phase 1.20 meter class. They clocked a time of 67.13, but they also had 14 penalty fault points. Teixeira and Escalada would record a time of 71.44, but they had 21 penalty fault points. During the Table A on time Grand Prix 1.40 meter qualifier, which saw them finish 82nd. Recently, a team of 11 Bermuda swimmers traveled to Claremont, Florida to participate in a 7-day overseas training camp. The camp was held at the NTC facility, allowing access to long course meter and short course yards training. Every morning, 5:30 a.m., a wake-up call was made, breakfast, and then a 30-minute drive to the training facility. Each session started with a 1-mile run, with the goal being to achieve faster times each day.
Thanks, Earl. That's all from the news team. For the moment, I'm Diane Brewer. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend. Good night.